Well, hello everybody. Matt Johnson over at SFREP. Glad you could join me today for a webinar. Just gonna show off our new UAD 3.6 interface in Appraise-It Pro. So just sit back and relax. It's not going to take too long. I do want to kind of go over a real 36,000 foot view of the new UAD real quick, and then we'll jump in and we'll go over and I'll kind of show you what's going on and what's new in Appraise-It Pro, and I'll go over our timeline because we have some updated information on our timeline, and then we'll take questions. If you've never done one of these webinars on YouTube before, if you're signed into YouTube, you'll be able to use the chat. You might hear the trash truck outside. I think they're picking up the trash right now. But if you're signed into YouTube, you can actually chat with us. There should be a chat over on the right-hand side of the screen. It might be below. Be sure to, I'd love to hear the questions that you have. And of course, if you have some questions and you're watching this after the fact, or if you're a little bit shy, you can always email me directly, training@sfrep.com. That's training@sfrep.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. I will also give you my direct telephone number that you can text me at, or call me, but I do prefer texting, that you can text me at, and my direct email address a little bit later. All right. So let's get started. As I said, Matt Johnson. I am the Director of Communications at SFREP. Been with the company for 19 years. Not an appraiser, but know more about appraising than I ever thought I would ever want to know. So a little bit about us, if you're not one of our customers and you don't really know much about SFREP, we were founded in 1983 down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And we pioneered DOS-based computer appraising with our DOS-based software. And in the early 90s, one of our co-founders, the technical side, the programmer, moved up to the mountains of Western North Carolina, brought all their technical operations with them. So we've been programming from the mountains of Western North Carolina, a small town called Silva, for many, many years now. And today we continue that legacy. Only have like 2 people down in Baton Rouge anymore. We're mostly based in the Carolinas at this point. Of course, after COVID, like many companies, we decentralized. Everybody went home, and we all now work from home. So we're kind of scattered. That's why I'm down here in Charlotte now. But we have most of our sales team in the upstate of South Carolina, clustered around the Greenville-Spartanburg area. And then our technical operations are mostly clustered around the Asheville area in the mountains of Western North Carolina. So like I said, back in 2019, during COVID, one of the things we did right before COVID was we rewrote our software from the ground up. So we didn't use any of the legacy code from our previous Appraise-It, which now we call Appraise-It Classic. We rewrote everything from the ground up in the modern Microsoft development environment. Because we did that, we were able to take the UAD 3.6 and put it into our existing software, and we're able to present it to you in what's called a what you see is what you get, or WYSIWYG format. If you don't know what that is, that's basically how you've been filling out appraisals for decades at this point. Every software package out there right now, ClickForms, WinTotal, ACI, all of them use a WYSIWYG format. In other words, you're filling out a graphical representation of the actual printed report. And we wanted to continue that paradigm for you moving into the UAD 3.6. And rewriting our software in Microsoft's modern development environment allowed us to do that. So quick look at the timeline. This is where we are right now. September 8th, 2025 was limited production launch. None of the software vendors, whether they're the small new guys on the block like Ivory or the big guys like us, Bradford, ACI, and Alamode, nobody was ready on September 8th. We anticipate that we are going to be the first to be ready. Ivory, the startup, may beat us by a day or so, but we're both kind of neck and neck. We think we're definitely going to be the first of the big 4 that's going to be ready. And to update our timeline, we think our development team hates when I throw dates out, but we think within a week or so. But that might slip a little bit. We're currently wrapping up all of the testing with the GSEs, with Fannie and Freddie. And as soon as that is done, we're ready to go. And what we'll do is we'll move from what we are right now, which is the public preview, into the public beta. And the big difference there is that right now you can play around with UAD 3.6, and I'll tell you I can do that here a little bit later, even if you're not a customer of ours. You can play around with it, but you can't actually create a MISMO 3.6 report to deliver to a lender. So none of the lenders are actually submitting requests for the UAD 3.6 yet. But we do anticipate we'll be the first of the big four that will allow you to do that. Okay. The next date is going to be January 26th of next year. That's when broad production begins. That's when pretty much most of the software vendors by that point should be ready to go, and you should start seeing more and more UAD 3.6 orders come in addition to the UAD 2.6 or the current UAD that you are currently working on. And as we get into like the summer of 2026, I would anticipate we're going to hit a tipping point at some point where it's going to be half UAD 2.6, half UAD 3.6. Next date is November 2nd. That's going to be mandate date. That's when the spigot gets turned off on UAD 2.6, and all new reports that are requested and submitted will be UAD 3.6. And then a date that a lot of people don't know about, that's the retirement date, which is May 3rd of 2027. And that is just to clear the pipeline out of any reviews or updates or anything to UAD 2.6 reports. From that date forward, everything will be UAD 3.6. So this is truly a report to rule them all. It is going to be replacing the new dynamic URAR is going to be replacing all of the existing UAD 2.6 reports. UAD 2.6 being what you're currently dealing with. It's the UAD for the most part, it's the UAD we've been dealing with for about the last 10 years. So it's going to replace the 1004, the 1073, the 1075. All of these reports get replaced by one dynamic report that changes dependent upon how you start filling it out. So there's no need for these other reports because just this one report morphs into what you need it to be based upon the checkboxes that you check and the pull downs that you use. And so it's a new paradigm. The report is going to look a lot different. There's more data for you to collect. There's going to be more fields for you to fill out. However, the great thing about it is that for the new people coming into the industry as appraisers, it's going to be a lot easier for them to learn. And it's going to be way easier for people that, the end users, the buyers and the sellers, they're going to be able to read these reports way, way easier. It's not going to be all cryptic with abbreviations and everything. And, there are two ways that the software vendors, because the software vendors were told by the GSEs, like, you guys come up with the way to collect this information. They gave us carte blanche on doing that. And there are two ways of doing it emerged. Both Bradford and ACI decided that they were going to do what is colloquially called the TurboTax method. It's kind of a wizard method. When you fill out a web form, you click next, fill out a web form, go to the next section. You're not seeing the actual report until the very end when it's generated. What both Alamode and us decided to do, because I think largely because we had more modern code bases that we were able to add this stuff to, rather than having to recreate, reinvent the wheel, so to speak. What we were able to do is you're going to be filling out a graphical representation of the report, just like you have for decades. So you're going to be much more comfortable, much less of a learning curve with the way that we're doing it. So with the old static forms, all the software vendors out there pretty much did it the same. As you see on the screen here, this is a screenshot of the current UAD, the UAD 2.6 in Appraise-It Pro, and it's going to look very familiar if you're using ACI, if you're using Alamode or Bradford. You basically fill it out. You type in the fields. Of course, we have a little format helper over here on the right-hand side that'll aid you in doing your abbreviations, but you're allowed to type in the abbreviations if you know them by heart at this point. And it wouldn't be a stretch for you to actually print it out, a blank report, feed it into a typewriter, and you could theoretically fill it out on a typewriter. It'd be stupid to do that. It'd be terrible. It'd be not a fun project, but you could do it. You cannot do that with the dynamic URAR. I get people asking me, hey, can you send me an example, just a blank example of the report? I can't, because what the report, it's going to look different every time. It really depends on the circumstances of the report that you're actually doing. So this is a screenshot here of ACI Workbench. You can see what they've done, kind of filling out a web form, fill out some information, then you'll click next. It's web-based. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to being web-based. The advantage is, you can do it on any device that has a web browser. You can, do it from the field. You can do it from anywhere if you're on a laptop. But you're also disadvantaged. You're going to have to be uploading all of your photos and all of your exhibits and everything, and that can be time-consuming, especially if you don't have the fastest internet connection, especially on the upstream. So what I tell everyone is, if you are with one of the software providers, whether that's Alamode by Cotality, ACI, who's owned by First American, or Bradford and Us, which are the two independently owned software providers, whoever you're with, now's the time to look at what everybody else is doing and see if you like what they've chosen to do with the new UAD. Because if you wanted to switch, now is the time to do it, because you are going to make a break from your old UAD 2.6 data. My friend Joel Becker over at Alamode, he loves to say there's only about a 6% overlap between the new UAD and the old UAD. So you're not really going to be able to use a lot of data from those old reports. You're going to have to kind of start over, and you're going to have to relearn some stuff. So why not go ahead and try a new software when you're doing that? So obviously I want you to look at us, but also look at what ACI, look at what Bradford's doing, look at what Alamode is doing. So here's my information for you to contact me directly. And I'll put this back up a little bit later as well, but you can call or text me. I do prefer text, but if you call, you'll probably have to leave a message. I'm usually pretty busy, but I'll give you a call back. But I do love texting. You can call me at 828-919-9082. That's 828-919-9082. Or feel free to email me directly. You can use that training@sfrep.com, or you can email me directly, matt@sfrep.com. And this is the information for us as a company. If you want to talk to our sales and customer service or our tech support, 800-523-0872. Also, feel free to contact me. I can help you out as well, or I can get you to who you need to talk to. Also, visit us at training.sfrep.com to see the other webinars that we have that may be coming up that you can attend. And you can also look at our back webinars by going there, or by going to youtube.com/SFREP. So once again, the chat, which is going to be either on the right-hand side of the screen or it's going to be down below. I'd love to hear any questions that you might have as I show you, as I work on getting it pulled up here, showing you the new UAD in Appraise-It Pro. All right, so here is Appraise-It Pro. For those of you who are wondering, yes, you can try this out. I will tell you how to do it. We are offering Appraise-It Pro free, no strings attached, no credit card needed, free for 6 months. You can set it up yourself, or we'll help you set it up, and you can try this out. When you first start Appraise-It Pro, you're in this area called the Backstage. If you have used Microsoft Office, this will look very familiar to you. And there's a reason for that. We program Appraise-It Pro in the same development environment that Microsoft uses for Microsoft Office. So this is their design philosophy. They're probably a bunch of theater geeks, so they call it the Backstage. And then you can hit this little arrow here and go to, I guess you'd call it the front stage, the main stage. And in this area, this is where you'll actually be editing a report. I don't have a report open right now, so it's just blank, but just showing you how you get back and forth to this Backstage area. And this is the welcome screen. So whenever you start Appraise-It Pro, you will be in this area called the welcome screen area. And this is just where we can communicate with you. We'll post things here. It's like a little bulletin board that we can post to. That way we don't have to email you. We don't have to, call people. We don't put flashy images or GIFs or videos or anything like that here. It's just going to be text, and it'll update automatically when you open up Appraise-It Pro with an internet connection on. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to come over here to New. Now, the way you start a new report in Appraise-It Pro is from this report section. Now, of course, I'm not going to teach you how to use Appraise-It Pro here. I just want to show you UAD 3.6, but I want you to understand what you're looking at here. These are all the different report types that you can open up in Appraise-It Pro. And if I want to open up just a blank default template of one of these, I just simply double click on it. But you'll notice here I've frequently used, then I have UAD 3.6 public preview, and then regular UAD 2.6. And these are the reports that you've been dealing with for for at least a decade, and since 2005, so decades at this point. And you've got your panels over here on the left and the right. You got the report panel. This is your table of contents. You've got your validator that's always running and checking your stuff. And if you do something wrong over here, then it's going to turn it red and it'll let you know over here in the validator that you've made a mistake there. Over here, you have your responses. You can see I have responses here for the city. And then over here, we have the format panel. When it's not being used, it's just giving you a color key. You can see that a green field is a formatted field. So if I come in here under site, now it changes to be what we call our UAD helper panel. So you can come in here, fill this out, and then it'll put your abbreviations for you automatically in that field. So that's the UAD 2.6. Of course, if you switch over and start using Appraise-It Pro, you're going to be using this for at least the next year. And then, of course, if you're doing any non-lender work, you'll use something similar to this. So let's close out of that. And in contrast, we're going to come over here. And now there are 3 UAD 3.6 report types. You may hear everything you probably heard so far up to this point revolves around the dynamic URAR, which is right here. But there's also the UAD completion report and the restricted appraisal update report as well. We're going to go into, we're just going to open up a blank dynamic URAR for UAD 3.6. And here it is. If you are a customer of ours and you're using Appraise-It Pro right now, this is available to you right now. You can go in there, start using it, start playing around with it, start doing demo appraisals. I tell everyone, go out, appraise your own house, appraise your sister's house, appraise your friend's house, play around with this and get familiar with it. For those of you who may not have seen this before because you're using some other software, you may have just seen the demos of it. You can come in here, you can play with it as well. Once again, 6 months free. I'll tell you how to do that here in a little bit. The main thing with UAD 3.6, it is pretty much all checkboxes and pull down menus. Not all. There's a lot of filling out of fields, but there's a whole lot of checkboxes and pull downs. So to see the way that we do this dynamic aspect at work, I'm going to open up the sales contract section. So this report right now, it's blank. It does not have a sales contract. So the way that we show that to you is that you have the header here that says that it's a sales contract. Is there a sales contract? No, that's the end of it. That's all there is. And if you were to print this report or create this report in the Mismo XML and make the PDF of it, this would not be included because there is no sales contract. But as soon as I check yes, now things start happening. Things start kind of folding in, and you can see the dynamic nature of this report. So I can come in here, 550,000. For the date, I could type the date directly in if I wanted to, or I could use a date picker here. Let's just call it October 1st. Transfer terms, I can come down here, select, short sale. And anywhere where there is a text box, the text boxes are dynamic too. So total sales concessions, maybe you need quite a bit of information, you need more than this one line here to type in there. Well, and this is the same for every text field. I can just start typing stuff in here, and you'll notice that the text box just keeps getting bigger to accommodate what I'm wanting to put in there. And that's how it would print out in the final PDF and be included in the Mismo XML file. A lot of people ask, is there a limit on how much text you can put into these fields? Yes, there is. It's set by the GSEs. They have, however, set it to such a high number that you should not run into it. We'll let you know if you do, but you should not run into a character limit in these. And then down here, there's a section here called Sales Contract Exhibits. This is where you can put in your PDFs or your scanned pages, things like that. Now, right now in the public preview, when I open this up, it is just going to allow me to put photos in here, and I can click and drag the photos over here to add them. In the public beta, you will be able to put individual PDF pages in there by essentially copying and pasting them. And then in the next, probably around Thanksgiving, maybe sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're going to have a PDF conversion module so that you can put a 3 or 4 page PDF in there and then it'll convert it over. The reason it needs to be converted into an image is because the UAD spec is that you can only include JPEG images in the final delivered report. So any PDFs that you put in there, you have to, or we have to convert them into JPEG images. So they don't want you putting 30, 50, 100-page PDFs in there. And you really won't be able to, because with image compression, there's not a lot of compressing you can do to an image that's white text on a black text on a white background. So the more pages you put in there, the bigger your report's going to be, and you don't want it to balloon in size to a point, where it's not going to be able to be delivered through most of the portals. So they don't want you putting a ton of exhibits in there, but you can. There's places all over where you can put images, or you'll be able to put PDFs in there as well. WM Mills, is it 6381 asks, can you have saved comments? Absolutely. If I come back over here to the subject property and you see city here, I have already saved all of these, but let me do another one. I can do, God, what little city around here do I want to do? We'll do more. We'll do Pineville. So these are all suburbs of Charlotte. So it's my hometown. Pineville. So if I want to put Pineville in there, I can come over here to manage responses. It has already put Pineville in there. I can give it a title if I want, but since it's a single line or a single word response, I don't want to put that in there. I don't need a title. So I can just hit save, or I can assign it to an F key as well, that I can use the F keys on my keyboard to put those in quickly. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to hit save here, close. Now I have Pineville. So if this was blank, I could just come over here, double click and put Pineville in there. Or I can hit F2, go down in the list and select Pineville that way as well. So yes, you can do those responses in any field, and they can be paragraphs long. So it doesn't have to be a single or double word. It can be paragraphs of responses for each field. Okay. The other thing I want to show you here is going to be sales comparables. If I open that up, actually, you know what? If I'm going to show you sales comparables, I want to do it with a report that's actually filled out. So I'm going to come back over here to open, and underneath my recent reports, I'm going to open up the single family residential scenario. This is from the GSEs, and this report is actually filled out. So if I come to your subject property, you can see there's the subject property. Let's see. Steve asks, are the saved comments independent from the GPAR comments? If a field matches in the non-lender forms, if that field has a corresponding field, like say the city in the UAD 3.6, then they'll be shared responses. If it is a unique field to the UAD 3.6, then it won't be shared with the non-lender, because the non-lender are in the UAD 2.6 format. Now, we will eventually have non-lender forms that are in the dynamic format, but at the moment we don't. That's going to be a project for another day. That'll be a next year project. But they'll come. They'll come eventually. We will not get rid of the non-lender UAD 2.6 version. You'll have the option to do both. We generally don't get rid of forms unless they get deprecated by somebody and we have to remove it. And in that case, we just hide it. You can't see it, but you can still open it up. But generally, we don't remove forms. Okay. So in this filled out report, I want to come down here and I want to show you the sales comparables section. And we are launching with side-by-side comparables. I know that a la mode is going to have this, but they're not going to have it, I don't think, until I think they've said spring before they'll have the side-by-side comparables. We're going to have them at launch. So here are all my comparables here. I can scroll down here, see all the different information about that particular report. And this is all dynamic. So only fields that apply to this particular report or this particular property are going to be shown here. So if you end up doing a condo form, there'll be different fields that'll show up here. If you end up doing a townhome, something like that. And if I want to add additional comparables, I just click on the add comparable, and there we go. The other thing is we do have tabbed browsing. So you can see that I have the assignment information open. I also have subject property and I have sales comparables. I can also pull these out, put them onto another monitor if I want, and move them around, or I can pop them back in. And then when I'm done with them, I just close them. Of course, that doesn't remove them from the report. It's just I'm not viewing them anymore. It's just like a web browser, essentially. Something else I wanted to show you guys. Oh, and so the way that this dynamic report works, so right now, attachment type, this should probably be detached because that's obviously detached. But the way that the dynamic report works is you're meant to kind of start filling this out from the top to the bottom. You cannot move these around or customize the report. The GSEs want a report to be in the same format, in the same order, no matter who did it or what software they used in order to do it. So you cannot move all of this stuff around. This is all set. And they kind of envision you doing it from top to bottom. Of course, you can jump around and fill something out if you want. But as we get to the subject property here, if I were to select attached instead of detached, well, now the report starts to, it's kind of intelligent, and the report starts to know, well, wait a minute, now I know we're not doing a standalone home. Now we're going to be doing like a townhome or a condo, or maybe we're going to be doing like a duplex or something like that. So things start to change later on in the report. And as you keep filling things out, cost repair will do units, ADU, all this stuff. As I start filling all of this stuff out, condominium, yes, now it knows it's a condo form, and things start happening down below. So that's how the dynamic aspect of this works. Question from, let's see, I have terrible eyesight. Question from Curtis. Do you have a mobile app to import the sketch and subject photos? Yes. Well, at the moment, we have a mobile app for the UAD 2.6. The UAD 3.6 mobile app, which we have partnered with Apex on doing, is going to be called Apex Sketch. It is available for just doing sketching, but the full-blown mobile app, which will do data collection and it'll do photo management, that app is going to be coming in the next probably 2 months. We want to have it out before Christmas. We're also going to be integrating with an app, a third-party app called Instaplan from McKenna, which is ready to go. We should have that done in the next month or so. And it features scan to sketch, sketching on a tablet, on a phone, and data collection and photo management as well. And our one that we're doing with Apex, called Apex Apex Portal, it will support scan to sketch come spring, and it will run on any device, whether it's a phone, Android phone, iPhone, iPad, Android tablet, runs on everything. It'll run on a Chromebook. It'll run on Windows. You can actually use it as your primary sketching program and run it on Windows. So yeah, that's going to be coming in maybe a month or two. When we release this beta, we're going to be the first to do it. It's going to be a little bit of a bare bones experience as we start moving towards the January timeframe. As we hit around January, we're going to have a lot of what we call them quality of life improvements that are going to be made. And these are going to be things like, supporting external programs, having that PDF conversion I talked about, the mobile app, all that stuff to make life a lot easier. Most of you here are probably not going to see a UAD 3.6 report until the spring anyway. So by the time you get your first one, this will be a much more refined experience for sure. Kevin asks, will comps be saved to a comp database for internal office use? Yes, it will be. And that'll happen automatically. The beta will not have the comp manager yet. But the comp manager, when it comes in, that comp manager will be fully compatible with the UAD 3.6. Now, for the UAD 2.6, it will do this already. With the UAD 3.6, by the end of the year, the comp manager will do that, and it'll do it all automatically. So as you use an address, a listing, a comp, whatever it is in the report, it'll automatically save all of that information into a database so that you can use it later on. Absolutely. Okay. Now, I told you guys that, and let me set some stuff up here. I did tell you guys that I would show you how you, whoops, sorry. I did tell you that I would show you how you can demo this on your own. So this is our website, just simply sfrep.com. You can go there now. If you want to start playing around with the new UAD 3.6 right now and be ready in the next week or two when we launch to be able to start accepting UAD 3.6 reports, all you have to do is go to our website, click on free demo Appraise-It Pro right here, save. It's going to automatically start a download, save that install file to your desktop, and then run the install. Go through the install. When you're done, it'll put a icon on your desktop that looks just like this. There it is right there. And when that icon, you just double click on that icon on first run, what it's going to do is, let me close this. So on first run, what it'll look like, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. On first run, it is going to pull this little screen up right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on request demo, and you're just going to fill this information out. Notice that we're not asking for a credit card or anything. We just want some info about you, and you click on next, and it's going to set you up automatically with a demo free for 6 months. And that is no strings attached. So if you get to the end of that 6-month period and you decide you don't like it, no harm, no foul. You don't have to do anything. We're not going to start auto billing you or anything like that. We will call you. We'll say, hey, what'd you think? And then, if you don't like it, we'll move on. We do have a dedicated trainer. Her name is Lindsay. She can actually log in with you when you're doing your demo, and she can set everything up for you if you would like. If you want to do it yourself, you can. That's what I just showed you. But if you would like someone to do it for you and kind of walk you through it and handhold, Lindsay will give you a call. She's amazing. She'll give you a call. She'll log into your computer so she can take control while you're watching. She'll install everything for you, set everything up, and then she'll even give you a little tutorial and kind of take you through how to use the program. I always tell people, if you're moving over from another software provider, we can generally teach you how to use Appraise-It Pro in about 30 minutes. It's not that hard. So, and then she can also get with you. You just go to, email training@sfrep.com when you're ready. When you get that first UAD 3.6 report, she can then log back in and kind of guide you through how to fill that out. Now, she's not an appraiser. She won't be able to tell you what to put into a field, but she can show you where the fields are and how to fill them out. So she'll handhold you there. When you do our demo, that 6-month demo is available to all appraisers in your organization. You should also know that the way that we do our pricing, we tier it out into 3 different tiers: silver, gold, and platinum. Most people moving over to our software go with the platinum plan, which kind of gives you everything. When you are on your demo, you're going to be on the silver plan. Okay. So you're getting $50 a month in free software, free for 6 months. So you can add additional things in if you want, like, if you can add some, they give you a little bit of flood maps where you can add some more flood maps in. You can add the Inspect a Lot mobile app, which is for the UAD 2.6 if you'd like. We can add things on there for you. And they'll give you 30-day free trials for all that stuff. Most of people moving over, though, they go with our platinum plan, and that's going to kind of give you everything you need, including 400 flood maps, which I basically call unlimited, because if you're using more than 400 flood maps in a year, then you're pretty busy. And if you do hit that, which I don't think anybody ever has, we can give you some more. It's no big deal. The way we license our software is we license it to the individual signing appraiser. So we don't charge you anything for office workers, and we don't charge you anything for trainees until they become certified or licensed and they start signing appraisals. Otherwise, there's no charge for them. So if you're a 2-appraiser shop and you've got like 3 people working for you who aren't appraisers, no charge for them. You can install the software on as many computers as you want. We don't charge extra for a network environment. We fully support running our software in parallels on a Mac, and we support using cloud storage solutions like OneDrive, Dropbox, things like that. Some more questions coming in. Let's take a look at them here. I got them on my phone here. So it's very small too. It's so hard to read this. Let's see. Will you be creating interactive Appraisal Institute forms in the future when the GPAR forms are created? The Appraisal Institute forms are copyrighted, so I don't think so. I think the Appraisal Institute would have to issue those forms in a dynamic report type. Now we have them, but I don't know if they're going to be making dynamic versions of them. I doubt it. There's really no need for them to do that. Let's see. Smart Appraisal Solution says, I have an office of 3 appraisers. Are the plans per user? They are per signing appraiser, yes. So you would be, when it was all said and done and you were over your 6 months. Now you can get a 6 months for each one of those. So all 3 of you can have it for free for 6 months. After that, each one of them will be at $99 a month. If you have any other people working for you, no charge for them. Okay. Do we have any other questions? If you are watching this after the fact, because you can go back and you can watch this, you can send the link to other people if you would like to show it to them. All you have to do is go to down on the bottom. There's a little share button. You can share that, get the link, and then send it to other people, or just forward the email that I sent out to you guys earlier today. If you click on that link in the email, it's just going to take you to the recording of what we're doing here. So if you're watching that and you would like to get in touch with me directly, then you can contact me directly here. 828, I want to put these back up on the screen, 828-919-9082. You can text or call me at that number. I do prefer text though. And you can text me at any time, even on the weekends. A lot of times I'll respond to text. And then of course you can also email matt@sfrep.com. And to contact SFREP as a company, our main number is 800-523-0872. That's the number for our sales and customer service, as well as tech support. Training.sfrep.com is where you can go to look at our training calendar to see our upcoming training webinars. I'm going to be making the schedule for December and January coming up. December is going to be pretty bare bones because I have a big vacation planned, going on a cruise in December for like a week and a half. So won't be here for like almost half of the month. But I'm going to have those scheduled up. And then of course you can watch our previous presentations, youtube.com/SFREP. Let me put my information back up there while I read another question. Let's see. No, I think that was it. I think that's all the questions we have. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you, what is it the corporate speak they always use? I'm going to give you some of your time back. We're only 37 minutes in. Once again, if you have any other questions, contact me directly. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'll be happy to get on the phone with you and answer your questions in person, whatever you would like. Thank you guys so much for showing up and joining me for this webinar. We're going to have more of them coming up. And hopefully I'll see some of you as customers of our small little company here. We're a big family, great company to work for. I've been here for 19 years. They pay for 100% of our healthcare. It's an amazing company. Love working here. And we're not owned by some big conglomerate. We're a small software company, completely and totally US based. We don't farm out any of our programming or tech support or anything overseas. Everything's done right here, mostly in North and South Carolina. Thank you so much. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe out there and take care. Bye-bye.